Just I have a series of non-negotiables that I do every single morning, and they're really around what I call mastering morning. And for the last 2 years, I've been doing this, and I literally one of the elements of it is being still and doing a meditation and just listening. So this morning, I was doing a meditation just right over here and listening, and I had a download or a message that said, "Go live." I'm at a really interesting place in my business in attempting to grow it, get the message out. And I, for whatever reason, have been reluctant to go live. And so I heard that calling today to go live. And so shoot, let's do it. Here we are. And I thought it'd be interesting because I can combine it with going live. I can combine it with part of my daily non-negotiables because I'm already doing it anyway. Why don't we just connect and chat while I'm already doing it? So, with that being said, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to see. Maybe I don't know. Maybe this is every morning. Maybe it's every other morning. I'm not really sure, but I think it's an opportunity to grow my audience, connect with people on a more intimate level. And like I said, shoot, I'm already doing this work anyway. Might as well have us connect and do it together because I can drop some insight, some knowledge, just based on the work that I do with men who have been divorced, single fathers, but they're also business owners because there's the uniqueness that we have as men, as fathers, as business owners, uh, is it's a lonely freaking journey, fellas. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk through a couple things while I do what I'm doing in the morning, and I'll say one of the biggest non-negotiables that I have is moving my body. Now, I compete competitively in masters track and field. It's just a way for me to continue to move my body and not so some mornings I'm in the gym, some mornings I'm not. Today, I'm not in the gym in the morning, but I'm still moving my body. What I like to do is a lot of work on my hips, my hip mobility, and so I'm going to do my hip mobility routine while we talk for about 5 minutes. So if you're cool with that, you can double dip. You can see what I'm doing with my hip mobility. I'm not a fitness trainer. I'm not here to sell fitness training or how to. I'm just doing what I do. If inspires you to move your body and whatever works for you, that's all I care about. What I do, however, is I do coach men. I do have a movement called Be the Torch. And the Be the Torch program or movement really is about men stopping to uh, look external for ways in which they can improve their lives and start going internal. So, I have for years as a business owner, as a father, as divorced, gone through multiple relationships. I've continually over time pointed outside of myself as ways to fix my life. And what I realized is that it needed to start inside. And it seems like, yeah, common sense. Yeah, you start inside. It doesn't always work that way, especially for a driven dude, a high performer, someone who really wants to grow and make an impact and grow his wealth. It's not always common practice. So what I decided to do was I had to go inwards for myself first and foremost. And by doing it, I just literally unlocked something inside me. And I'm going, dudes aren't doing this. And I'll give you a prime example. Five, five of my closest friends are either entrepreneurs or executives in companies and are divorced single fathers. Some remarried or got into new relationships, but they're still uh, fathering their children from a previous relationship or relationships. And I was like, and we never talked about it. We never talked about the challenges that come with wanting to grow and scale a business to uh, co-parenting to the 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 challenges of going out and finding a new relationship, finding somebody that we want to bring into our life. So we didn't talk about that stuff. And that frustrated me. And it made me recognize that how much dudes isolate, entrepreneurs isolate, well, men isolate first and foremost. Um, Entrepreneurs isolate, and then guys who have the shame and the guilt of they got divorced, they're a single father, the shame and guilt that comes with it, that they isolate. And so, um, you smell like I smell you through the camera. I'm not sure. All right, what's up? Uh, like I said, it's IG live, and anything can happen live. Even people jumping in here on the comments, so I'm not quite sure um, what you got going on here. But nonetheless, I am, for those of you just jumping on here new, I'm just taking you through my non negotiables. One of my non negotiables, which is moving my body. I'm working on my hip mobility. As you saw, I was just doing a little bit of warm up there. Uh, but back to what I was referring to, and that just is the isolation a lot of men um, feel. So, to be the torch was this whole idea of, okay, let me create a movement around guys in the situation. We don't have to isolate. We can create a brotherhood of guys that are in a similar situation. We want to grow and scale our businesses. We want to be active and present fathers. We want to find a new relationship, a new love. We want to take care of our bodies. We want to feel good. We want to feel, uh, our back to our fighting weight, or fit and ripped, whatever it may be. So that's where the Be the Torch movement came from. And one of the things we're moving into is doing a series of workshops each week to bring content to guys that are, that's smaller in nature. Look, we want to be quick to the point, but also can drop some insight to help guys who are trying to navigate this alone. So today being August the 8th, August 14th, which is next Thursday, is our first workshop. And it's called From Guilt to Greatness. And the reason why we're talking about it that way is because there's this unique guilt, dad guilt, that a lot of guys feel because they are doing things. So they're saying, okay, hey, look, I've got child support, I have uh, alimony to pay, or now I'm on a single income, and they are forced to work more, or maybe in the divorce their business was valued based on its assets, not necessarily its cash. And so now they're like, shoot, I don't have the cash to pay all this child support, although it looks like I do on paper, but I don't. And so now they got to work harder. So now they got to work harder, and they don't get to spend as much time with the kids. Well, then it's like, well, you don't get to have the kids very much because you're working too much. It's like, well, hold on a second. I got to work my ass off because I got to pay for child support. I got to pay for alimony or whatever it may be. And so a lot of this guilt and shame comes in, and circumstances that sometimes are, depending on where you live, are out of your control. So I say this because there's a lot of dad guilt going on. And I felt it, where you want to be present and available for your kids. And when you are, you're worrying about shit. What's going on at the office? I should be making these calls, and you're feeling guilty that you're not growing the business. And then you're at the office and you're working on. I'm going to go to this next hit movement here, which is this is a tough one for me always, but nonetheless, it's so important for my mobility and flexibility for the work that I'm doing. Um, and so what you have is you have these guys that are now spending time with their, at the office, and they're missing their kids' games. They're missing uh, the mid-afternoon assembly where their kids getting an award and stuff like that. And so then there's some guilt around that. And so, man, all this guilt, when in fact it's just guys that have not set up their life in a way in which they can not be reactive, but be proactive to the things they want to do. And it's just been it's a unique thing that us men have been taught, and what society has told us, that your job is to go to work and make the money and take on all the pressure to produce, provide and perform. And so when guys do that, they just succumb to that pressure. And it's like, okay, well, that's just what it's supposed to be. And yet, like myself, like I wanted to be a present father. I wanted to coach the sports. I wanted to be there for the mid-afternoon assemblies to see their awards and stuff like that. Like I wanted to be involved with my kids' lives. Uh, and but then there was a lot of guilt that comes with it. So anyway, this workshop that's happening on the 14th is working through that guilt. What I've done is I've created something called the Ignite method. Um, and the Ignite method, guys, if you don't have one of these bad boys, just find something. In fact, you could just do it over air if you're interested in hip mobility. But nonetheless, the Ignite method is a way for us to really lock in on the specific outcomes that we want in the particular week or that month, and then start to orchestrate our ground it in the purpose, the way in which we want to do it, so we can be proactive in in our day to day lives, so that we can be present for the kids. We can be present for our business. We can work. We can scale our companies. We can grow it without being imprisoned by it, and imprisoned, more importantly, by the stories, the ego, because that's all guilt is. It's just ego, So we're imprisoned by it, and thus that's what we're constantly living in this prison in our own mind. We're imprisoned, chained to our business, and not able to execute on the life that we really want to lead. So that's what the whole Be the Torch is about. I got two more. Uh, that's what the whole Be the Torch is about. Do an extra for extra credit. Is creating a life first business, creating a lifestyle first, and then fitting the business in. I did it backwards for years. I just thought if I just go and make the money, if I just build the business, shoot, if I just uh, had all the money, then life will figure itself out. It doesn't work that way. hard, hard lessons, but it doesn't work that way. You got to be able to build the life first because something's going to drop, fellas. I know a lot of you make the money. You got nice cash coming in. You got a nice house. You got nice cars, but the relationship is poor. You've disconnected from your kids. Maybe your health isn't right. I just met with a business owner who is very successful. I mean, just super attentive to his people, his employees. Single father. He's dating again, and the dude was in the hospital, struggling with anxiety, depression, blood pressure, and it's like, come on, guys, all because of business and the stuff that was going on for him. And I'm just tired of seeing that. So, thus, Be the Torch is birthed out of this reality that, man, if we can just go inward, get locked in on what's most important to us, and create a life around that first, and then fit the business in. As you all know, with technology and AI and man, all that is it's much easier to do that maybe than it was previously. So anyway, uh, August 14th coming up. I know y'all watching this live. If you go to a couple options, a couple ways to get involved. If you go to cletuscoffey.com/book a call, uh, fellas, that'll get us on a call. And that'll obviously, I'm happy to work through it with you, like what you got going on, what you're working through, and how I can best support you. We'll put together a 3-step plan. That's easy. And then I can share with you the different entry points into the Be the Torch movement, ways in which we can support you. It could be with our workshop, like coming up, the Guilt to Greatness. That'll be here next Thursday. It could be getting involved in our academy, or shoot, man, working with me one on one, whatever that looks like for you. So that's cletuscoffey.com/book a call. And then y'all are going to have to give me just a couple hours, but cletuscoffey.com/guilt to greatness. That'll get you registered for the workshop next Thursday. That is cletuscoffee.com/guilt to greatness, gang. It's $10 to get in. Yes, I want to make this accessible to everyone, but I also want you to have some skin in the game. All this free shit that gets lobbed out online, people don't take that stuff serious. They don't invest in it. And this Ignite method that we're doing next Thursday is powerful. And guess what else we're doing? We're bringing AI into it. So I have a whole series of prompts that I'm going to give you on the call, and we're going to do it in real time. We're going to sort out your Ignite method. We're going to get clear on how you can get back 10 or more hours, reclaim that back from medial business task to-do list to whatever it is that you want to do it, for yourself or for your kids. So that's cletuscoffee.com/guilt to greatness. That'll be up and live for registration in just a couple hours. So anyway, hey, this was kind of my first little 15-minute. I actually went longer than I thought it would here on YouTube live. I'm doing one of my non-negotiables, which is to move my body in the morning. And normally I'm either in the weight room on the track, but on the days that I'm not, or at least when I'm training with my group in the afternoon, I will do stuff in the morning, core, uh, hip mobility, stuff like that. Guys, I'm here to thrive. I'm here to move my body. I'm here to get better in all areas. And the body comes with us wherever we go. Yeah, it is definitely. Yeah, this is the first one. If you weren't here in the very beginning, what I said is I've got five non-negotiables that I've been doing for the past 2 years. I'm a former professional football player, and we used to do something in football called the EDDs, the everyday drills. And the everyday drills, before we went to full on scrimmage. Thanks, I appreciate that. Uh, Tops, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much for the support. That means a lot being the first one here, first one doing this. So thank you for recognizing that. Uh, but the EDDs, before we got to team drills, before we got to 7-on-7s, before we even did 1-on-1s in our particular position group, we did the EDDs, the everyday drills. And I kid you not, if you're a former football player or if you are somebody who likes football, go to any football practice on the planet, high school, college, professional. They have their EDDs, the everyday drills they do to improve the individual first. So when I get my morning started, it's all about my EDDs. And I've got 5 key EDDs that I do. If that's something that's interested to you, I'm doing a workshop in 2 weeks on it. But I'm all about mastering my morning. So if I can get my morning right, that's going to help get my day right. And that hits right there. Damn. Ooh, that hits right there. Um, so yes, and one of them is move my body. So I thought, back to my first live stream, I thought, you know what? If I'm gonna be doing this, I do this anyway. Why not have a conversation with you all, the former athletes? I appreciate it, man. I love to see the former athletes coming in. Definitely, I'd love to have you here. And so, I mean, as a former athlete, I mean, shoot, it's very easy to detach from the thing that really helps serve us, and that is our body. Because there's the thing, especially if you're in business, gang, your body goes with you to every phone call, every meeting, every contract negotiation. Your body goes with you. And I challenge you the next time you're in a negotiation, you're in a sales call with someone, or someone's trying to pitch you something. And if their body isn't right, unfortunately, they're wearing some of their insecurities or their inadequacies up front. And um, so let that not be you. Take care of your body because you're going to need it. This fleshy, meaty suit. We're just an energetic being inside this darn thing. But while we're here on this ride, you might as well take care of it. So anyway, I say all that because I do. My morning routine does involve moving my body. Today just happens to be some of the fine tune things. So I'm doing some hip mobility stuff. Um, and it's Friday. I'm on the track tomorrow, gang. I'm 50 years old, so I can't be on the track or doing high intensity stuff every day. I got to have my recovery days. This is one of them. I'm on the track tomorrow, so yeah, I got to be ready for that. But yeah, so So, gang, if you're a driven, high performing, former athlete, et cetera, like I know you got that passion. I know you've got that drive to be great. And there's just a lot of stuff that gets in the way, especially as felt as guys, that in society and people in our lives that have told us that we are to be, and it doesn't align. So there's misalignment. So we got to get realigned. We got to heal parts of us. And so, anyway, Be the Torch allows us to do just that. So, hey guys, man, I appreciate those of you who jumped in. We're already 20 minutes in. Man, I just get to talking. But what I'll do is I will start to, like I said in the very beginning, the frequency here. I'm not sure. We're bumping into a weekend here. I've got family in town, but nonetheless, I'd like to do something a bit more regular because I'm growing my message. I'm growing my movement. And the more I can get in front of amazing folks like yourself, share what I'm doing, see if I can be of support, be of service for those like you. I do some form rolls. Yeah, oh, I definitely got to do the form rolls. This was actually an old business of mine. I actually got into business of making these darn things, but some legal stuff came up, and um, that was just another business thing that I had started that went by the wayside. A lot of victories, a lot more losses. If you're in business, you know what that's like. So, anyway, would love for you all to come back. I see you, my man. Uh, awesome. I appreciate. Yeah, thank you for subscription. Come back as well. Would love to. I'll show up if you will. Okay, I love it. Challenge on. I love that. I'm all about accountability. So, if you'll be here, I'll be there. I love that. So, thank you very much. I'll catch you all next time. How do I turn this off?